I love The Foreigner. It's a play that I've wanted to direct for a long time. I think it's timeless. I saw The Foreigner for the first time probably 30 years ago, and the message just is so positive and so powerful. And I think it's good for any time, particularly now. But when they approached me about directing and said, you get to choose the show, it was the first one that came to my mind. And we had the perfect cast for it, which has made it so much fun.
I think that it's a perfect script. As a drama teacher, I use this script. I love this script. I've always loved this script. And I think that Larry Shue does a really good job of giving the actor moments of goofy and fun, and to get the audience to buy into the game. But also there's those moments where he says, I'm gonna miss these people, and he does help Ellard. He does perpetuate Ellard being a smart person. All he does is just give him a chance to teach. And I think that's really awesome. I wish that I could say that it was an actor choice and that it was mine, but it's just the author. He's just awesome.
He not only wrote an excellent play, but it's something that teaches us to love everybody. It doesn't matter. Nobody's like anybody else. We should love each other, you know. And it kind of gets the bad men, which is good too. Everybody loves that. It's just really funny. I think people just truly enjoy it over and over.
Great group of people to work with. Rehearsal process was very short. We had about 3 weeks, maybe a little bit more, to pull this whole thing together. So that's why we were running lines over and over again. But just lots of fun. We kind of came in here and just did our thing.
We didn't have a lot of time to really develop a whole lot. But it all just kind of came together. We just started reacting to each other and playing off of each other. We really didn't have time to think about it. And so Andy does something and we react, and then he reacts to us, and it just, honestly, it worked out the best that way, because we had to think on our feet.
Getting back on stage for the first time in a while, I was definitely kind of scared, because I'm like, I don't know how to do this. But once I came to the first rehearsal, we did our first read through, it was just like slipping back into old shoes, and it felt really great. I felt like I was home, and it was just really nice to be with other people who really enjoy this craft, and it just felt like home.
Yeah, Andy was my teacher, but we've always been like friends, so it's been fun to like be adults in a show and to start like just bouncing improv back and forth and kind of play with lines and then like see what works, and sometimes things don't work and it's hard, but because we were a teacher and a student before, I know there's no judgment, you know, and there's no judgment from me, so it's been great.
It's freaky, because now I have to practice what I preached, right? And they're watching me in rehearsal, and I have to be memorized first, because I always told them that they had to be memorized first. And I was giving them all this awesome sage advice as a teacher, and then I had to, like, you know, put my money where my mouth was. And so that was hard, but I think it was kind of rewarding. It forced me to be more focused in rehearsal and to make big choices and to do all that stuff. And it was really fun to kind of like get to see them and work with them in an art form that I taught them a little bit more how to do. So it was kind of rewarding on a, you know, like a teacher kind of level.
So the rest of the cast they're all very seasoned actors, and I am not. I'm a theater dad. My kids are all actors. And I usually just build sets and get out of the way, but this time I decided to try something different, and so I tried out and was cast as Froggy Lesueur, and it's been great. The other cast members came in, half of them knowing their entire lines on the first day, and I struggle, and they've all been really generous, helping me learn the art a little bit. This play is really unique because of how much improv and interaction and reaction that there is involved, and so it's been a lot of fun. It's been a journey of learning the character more than learning the lines, so that when something happens or something is different, we can make adjustments, and the show is different every night, and it's funnier every night too. I'm so impressed. Luckily, I'm only on stage a lot at the beginning, and so I watch the show from the side, from the wings, and laugh. It's a riot.
I haven't been on stage in 20 years. I played Ellard in high school, like over 20 years ago. And I've always played the good guy. And Kara cast me as a bad guy, and I thought, can I do a bad guy? Like, I've always been, cute little Ben, he's cute and all, but playing an evil guy was so much fun.
There's a moment where it's just Owen and Charlie, and Owen goes off and says, we're gonna fight, and we're gonna bring down all of the people who are different than us. And I hope that you fight back, because I want to see what you have for blood. And during that moment, I have this like huge monologue that I'm thinking about in my head. And it is an opportunity for me to say, okay, I'm gonna fight back now. I've sat back and I've let him be abusive, and I've let him say things about my mom. And at that moment, I decide, I'm gonna fight back. I have enough confidence in myself that I turn on him. I'm scared, and then I decide, and then I do it. And it's really rewarding as an actor to kind of have those emotions and go through that and not just wait for my line.
My favorite part is when Andy tells the story of the Hotsy girl and the wolf. It is hilarious every time, and it's never the same, and I just love it.
I have so many favorites, but I think my most favorite part is when you start to see Ellard interact with Charlie. You start to see him, come out of a shell to, who is this stranger at this table? And you kind of see Ellard break out of this little shy, timid boy into this very curious, very intelligent boy who has his own questions, who has his own process. And I think that's very important to see, and it's just heartwarming to watch.
The director, Kara Poulsen, has been wonderful. As being a new actor, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how this was supposed to work. I didn't know if I was making mistakes, and she's been very patient and very inspiring. She gives you direction and encourages you to try new things. And after a while, I started to do that, and I started to take the risks and do crazy things to see if they were funny. And some of them are, and some of them aren't. And she's been very helpful in trying to create the character that is Froggy, and this is why he's so much fun to play. And for that's part of the reason I walk home pretending to be Froggy. I can't stop doing the accent.
Absolutely amazing. She's wonderful. She's has lovely ideas. She kind of lets you go unless she figures it's not going to work, and then she might say something, but not very often. She kind of let us do our thing and guided us, which is the sign of a really great director,
So one thing I really appreciate about her directing is she definitely gives you the freedom to explore your character. She gives you, certain direction where to go, where we want to end up, but she really gives you that freedom to explore that character for yourself, to explore your talent, showcase your talent, and then she tells you, rein it back, or I need more, and it really allows you to teach yourself and learn those lessons for yourself, which I think is really important.
I hope all audiences understand that they bring the energy to the show. The actors feed off of that. The more energy the audience brings, the better the actors are able to respond. And so that's been really fun. We hope for an audience that I love listening to the laughter. It makes me laugh again. But it's also been really fun afterwards to just see people smiling, to hear them talk about parts of the show that they liked, things that surprised them. That's why we do this. It's really fun to be able to impact people and make a change in their lives.
They've loved it. I can't do my first scene. I got to pause my lines because they're laughing so much at Charlie in the back. They love it.
It's been good. We've had some good audiences. The first night it was pretty startling because we'd never had an audience, and they were laughing pretty hard, and so we're kind of breaking character, trying to stay in it, and the tone shifts about like 3/4 of the way through, and then it's fun to the audience is laughing really hard because there's a funny moment before, and then we're silent, and so they're silent, and they just kind of know what's going on. It's pretty fun, yeah.
It is a portrayal of truth, of life, and seeing it right there in front of you in person, it really makes people reflect on their own lives. The energy between actors and the audience is a special thing, and it's very rare, and when it's right, it's amazing.
There's a lot of scary things out there right now, and there's a lot of anger, a lot of hate, and this show kind of portrays some of that, but in a lighter way, and kind of teaches you to get rid of it, to get rid of the hate, to accept people for who they are, no matter what their background is. And I think that speaks volumes in the show.
I was never into theater as a kid. I never had the opportunity or the interest, and I had an opinion about how it worked, and I didn't think it was that important. But as I saw my kids, I have 6 kids, and most of them have taken to acting on some level, and I've seen not only them but their friends as well, just become just come out of their shells in incredible ways. I've seen people who are too afraid to speak or look you in the eye. When they step on the stage, they get to open up and just become this amazing performer and this just strong and capable and functional person. And when they learn that on stage, they then carry it with them for the rest of their lives. So, not been a big fan of theater until I saw my kids doing it. Now, I wouldn't give it up. And that's one of the reasons I chose to audition for this role, is that for the last 2 years have been quite boring. You know, we've been trapped at home, working from home, and kids are doing school from home, and it's just, we've all been trapped inside. And so I wanted to try something new, and I decided to take my own advice. I was always pushing my kids to try new things, so I decided to take my own advice and jump into their world. And I've really enjoyed it.
I think that the Foreigner is so important because whether we wanted to admit it or not, we're divided. We're facing things and people that fight us. And I think you can translate whatever you want that to be, but we are all still fighting an oppressive force. And I think it's important for us to see that most of the time that oppressive force is the weakest. And so I think it's a really good message.